This is a 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sport all-wheel drive, an Italian beauty that might be a little late to the crossover party, but has arrived ready to charm its way into your driveway. It definitely is an attractive crossover that starts at a very competitive $42,195. There are three models, a base model, a step-up TI version, and the fire-breathing 505 horsepower Quadrifoglio track monster. The base and TI models are broken down further with an available sport upgrade. Now, although there are no design changes for 2019, the base model will lose all-wheel drive and become rear-wheel drive only, which chops $2,000 off the MSRP. The 2019 TI and Quadrifoglio models, however, will keep their all-wheel drive as standard, which is good news. So, how does this luxury crossover compare to its German rivals? Can it make a dent in the American SUV market? Let's get in and find out.
So here we are driving, and I will say it's a very nice suspension. It's not too firm, it's not too soft. If you do want some more sportiness, you might want to step up to the TI. It's going to give you a little bit more firmer suspension, which would be something that I would personally do because I want a little bit more responsiveness in the chassis and the suspension. But for a family type SUV, the suspension setting in the base model is really nice. Also, one of this car's fortes is taking corners. It does very well. It's got lots of grip. It takes the corners very smoothly. It's very confidence inspiring. You know what the car is going to do is very predictable. Also, I would say the car's strongest point is acceleration. This car comes with a 4-cylinder, 280 horsepower engine with 306 foot-pounds of torque, and I will say that it is very impressive acceleration. 0 to 60 is actually in 5.4 seconds, and you can feel it. Now, when you first get off the line, there's a little bit of a lag, just for maybe half a second, and then it starts to pick up and it just goes like hell. So for manual shifting, you put the gear lever to the left and it goes into manual mode. Now I will say this car will hold the gear that you're in. It will not automatically downshift or upshift for you. It is truly a manual mode on the automatic transmission. The gears are quick and they are exactly the way you want them to go, where to go up to next gear you pull back, to go down a gear you push forward. I know some brands switch them around, but this one actually has it the correct way. When you do shift down, you do get a little bit of a rev matching blip, which is always appreciated. It gives it that really nice sporty feel, and just gives that overall sportiness to the car, makes you feel like a race car driver. This car, just like the Giulia sedan that it's based off of, uses brake-by-wire braking, which means there's no direct connection from the brake pedal to the actual brakes. In theory, it's kind of cool. You know, it sounds like an aircraft where everything's done fly-by-wire, brake-by-wire, everything. But in reality, you just have that kind of disconnected feel between the brake pedal and what the car's actually doing. It's not very linear. Now, stopping power is there. They are phenomenally good at stopping. The only thing, like I said, is just that initial feel where you do have that sort of disconnected feel between what your foot is doing and what the car is doing. This might just be something that can be solved in maybe a hardware or a software update, but it's something that Alfa Romeo does need to address. Okay, here we are sitting down inside the Stelvio. You do have this very nice steering wheel with a very nice Ferrari-esque type start-stop button. So let's turn it on. You do have the driving modes of the car. You can switch between dynamic, normal, and alternative efficiency. What's nice is when you select the mode, it will always stay there, meaning that when you turn off the car and turn it back on, if you start in normal, it will be in normal. If you leave it in dynamic, it will always be in dynamic, which is in big contrast to the auto start stop button, which in order to turn it off is right here. Now the car defaults to it being on all the time, every time you start up the car. So even if you push the button to turn it off, when you turn off the car, which we'll do right now, and then you turn the car back on, you can see that it's off again. So every time you get into the car and you turn it on, unfortunately, you have to push this button. We did try to go through the menus and just could not find any feature to do that permanently. Maybe the dealership can set it to be permanent, but that is something that's unfortunately very annoying. So I want to show you the back seat area. There is plenty of shoulder room. However, the leg room does get a little tight. I have the driver's seat where I would set it as if I were driving. I'm 6 foot even, so if you're taller than me, then obviously the seat would be even further back. But they did do a pretty good job of sculpting out the back of the seat to give you a little bit more leg room. But you can see that leg room, even though I do have a few inches here, is not plentiful. I'm sure there's other cars out there that do offer a little bit more leg room. In fact, just to kind of give you an idea here, I got about 3 inches of space between my knee and the sculpted area. So again, not extremely tight, but for a long trip, it might not be the most comfortable back seat on the market. You have this wonderful navigation screen that's actually really nicely integrated into the dash. It's a pretty good size. Right now I have it set up in split screen, so I have 60% of it as a navigation and the other 40% set up as the showing the station that you're on. However, when you put it in reverse, what happens is you get this tiny little backup camera, and to add insult to injury, it's not even that crisp. It's not like high definition. It's kind of fuzzy. They give way too much space to the car icon there showing the motion, the distance sensors. This could have been much wider, and this car could have been moved over in a much smaller icon. But again, not a deal breaker. It's just one of those little things that you kind of wish that they had put just 2 more minutes of thought into. Other things are visibility is really nice. You do get a great commanding view of the road. There's nothing sticking out into your view like a lot of the Mercedes models that have the screen now kind of sticking up. This one with the screen down below makes the visibility really nice. There are lots of storage compartments and such, so it's a very livable car. What's nice about this is that it does have sort of that family SUV roots, but at the same time it's a sporty enough car and it's a quick enough car where you can really have fun driving it. It's not just a daily commuter. This is a car that you can have some fun with. And that is what is the most interesting part, is that you do have an Italian-made SUV that's coming into the luxury compact SUV market. A little bit late to the game, but they did do a very nice job on fit and finish, on overall drivability, on overall handling, acceleration. Just need to work on those brakes a little bit, but it does give you a great alternative to the German brands. You got to give kudos to